Hi everyone, it's Claire from ScrappyNerdUK and I'm up to date for Scrap Academy. So at the moment we are concentrating on paper. There are many different varieties of paper that you can choose to scrap on. There are already some videos up for this theme for this week. So I wanted to concentrate on an easier form of paper that you can do mixed media on. I have discovered this very recently, and this is a Vicki Boutin ready to use mixed media pad. Now, I love the look of mixed media. I don't love the mess that it creates and the time it takes to create and the time it takes to dry. So this is a happy medium between using a mixed media background that's already done for you. Now, there's no problem with adding extra mixed media on top of this. So if you want to take this and you can add on extra mediums, you could add on stenciled ink or texture paste or ink splatters, whatever you want to do. But I absolutely love this for an inspiration to start my page. I'm going to turn it this way so I can show you the papers that are actually in this pad. There are 36, I believe, in the pad. Yep. So there's 18 designs. I mean, this one is absolutely gorgeous. So you get 2 of each, so you can do a double page spread using the same papers. And I thought I would do that with this paper, have one coming from this way and one coming from the other way. And these have gold foiling on already as well. I mean, look at that. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I know that if I went to create something like that, it would never look like that. So yeah, this is just another way that you can use effectively a patterned paper that has a mixed media look already printed on it. I love this one of my favorites. Some really nice designs. In the video I'm going to use this, and the reason I'm going to use this one is because it's not my favorite. I do not like orange or yellow or green or brown, and so I've decided to use this one to really push myself to show how this can be used. And then we have this lovely pink one, this green one, and then we're back round again. So I'm going to pop the video on fast forward and I'm going to show you what I create. So here goes. So the reason I've chosen the paper that I've chosen to work with, that mixed media paper, is because these photos that I'd taken, these were taken in the Cheesecake Factory and the lighting in there is horrendous. The photos came out very orange, and these were from way back in 2015. I never used to edit my photos, and I still don't to some extent, but they were very orange and they were already printed, and I thought they're going to work perfectly with that paper. You can see there I've got a sheet of 12 by 12, and this is a little tip for you in when I'm organising or when I'm looking at the format of the layout. I have something down, whether it's the paper ready or whether it's just a random piece of cardstock, and I tend to use white. I just pop it on my desk so I can get a feel of where I want to start laying things before I stick them down. So I'm going to do something really off-key, and that is to add a napkin in. So on this particular holiday, I came back with a whole load of bits and bobs that I'd picked up along the way. And one of those things was the napkin from the Cheesecake Factory. Now, I don't know whether it's going to last the test of time, but I'm going to include it anyway. So I'm just stapling the bottom of the napkin there so I don't have to go and glue all the individual layers together. And all those staples are going to get covered up anyway with my photos and my embellishments. Now I'm using an older Amy Tan collection here called Hustle and Heart, and I literally have got scraps left. So I am making headway with my travel album, trying to get that all up to date and filed away and be able to pull it out with a completed project. So here we are. I am now just looking for the background paper, and that's going to work perfectly. As I said, this is really pushing me outside my comfort zone in terms of the colour or the colours that I would normally work with, but they work really well with the photo. So I encourage you to not necessarily use a pre-made mixed media background, but just find those papers that are not your favourite, that you don't think you're going to use, and find photos that match, and really push yourself to use those papers. I'm just spinning this around. So one of the benefits of this pre-made background is the fact that A, it's done for me, B, I haven't got to think about it, C, I haven't got to wait for it to dry, D, I haven't got to smudge it with my hands, because that's quite often what happens. And it's all done, so I can just spin it around and find which side I prefer the look of the most. And I preferred this way because I had all the ink splatters going up in that direction, in the diagonal direction that I was looking for. So as I said, I really am just working with scraps with this collection. This is literally bits and bobs that I've got left, and I'm determined to kill this kit fully. And I thought it'd be great to incorporate those bits on this layout. The orange goes very well with the orange in the collection from Hustle and Heart anyway. So, and I'm going to bring in some pink. You can already see there that I'm bringing in some pink in the flowers and some pink in that little branding strip on the right hand side. And I'm just going to pop that down the edge just to separate it from the photo from the background. And then I decide to, that edge just looks too clean. So I'm just going to use my little distressing tool to ruffle that up a little bit. And then that's going to go straight back down. And you're losing half of the heart in the pattern, but it's fine. I just want it more for that pop of pink. Next up, just some washi tape. It's really super duper thin washi tape from Me and My Big Ideas. And these are some of my favourites to use. If you just want a pop of a bit of colour somewhere, I don't have to add the washi tape onto the whole background. It's just using it to accent little areas, and especially where that napkin is as well. So I've got a bit of white on white there, and that's now separated by that tiny bit of washi tape. And next up, I'm just going to go through whichever die cuts I've got left, not a lot, and figure out which ones I want to use. And I like this one that said Loving Right Now, and it helps with the yellow as well that's in the background, so it adds a bit more yellow in to the layout. Don't do what I do and stick everything down and then go ahead and have to move it all. Be sensible and actually lay it out before you stick it down. And I had it laid out on my my test piece of cardstock, but I thought I had the positioning right, but obviously not. But luckily I'd only just stuck it, so it was easy enough just to pull back up. And then I'm just going to tuck that in there. And I love these bows. And I initially put the bow here, and again another pop of that hot pink, just helping to move that pink colour around the page a bit. And it will end up having to move because when I was figuring out where I was going to put my title, I found the best position for, it's 2 words and I'm using these foam thickers. That word there is going to be best above the photo, and then I've got plenty of space underneath for the second word. So I'm going to have to move that bow. So I just move it to the top of that yellow heart, and then I can just squeeze in my title so it all connects. So it gives me a little cluster. And I was considering doing some extra mixed media on top of this paper, but I think because it's already got what looks like the packaging technique with the yellow, and then it's got the orange stenciled over the top, and then it's got the ink splatters, it's pretty much done for me already. So I was quite happy just to leave it as is. And I also wanted to show that you don't have to do anything extra on these pre-made backgrounds. You can just use them as they are. And they look fab. So I love, and I know that I'm going to go through that whole pad so quickly. So yeah, just using another one of those foam thickers, and I've cut it in half and used half of it under the bottom cluster and half of it under that top cluster. And then just seeing what other bits that I want to pull in just to continue the heart theme there. So I've got the hearts at the top of the photos. There's some hearts now at the bottom where that floral is. And there are some hearts in that portion of branding strip to the right of the page. So I'm just continuing that heart theme throughout. The photos are of cheesecake, which is one of my favourite desserts. And it was the first time we went to Cheesecake Factory. So I wanted just to run with the theme of hearts on here and flowers and bows. I've got all sorts on here. Next up, I went through the sticker book, and these are all clear stickers. So all I've done is there's this little pie, if that's what you call it, sticker. So I've just stuck that onto some white cardstock, and I'm just going to trim around it. This is the perfect way to take a clear sticker and make it into more a piece of ephemera, and it'll work then on the background. If I'd have stuck that straight down, you wouldn't have seen it at all. So that goes on there, and again, that yellow colour really helps with tying in with the background. And then next up, I'm going to go with another pop of pink. I've got too much white going on at the top there, so I am going to bring in this clear sticker again, and it's a pink coffee mug. So thematically, it will work with my photos, even though I don't drink coffee. I'm going to use it anyway, and I'm just going to do the same technique, pop it onto some white card and trim around it. And then I'm just going to pop that up onto some foam as well. And that is going to sit in that blank area of the napkin. And I think that is all of my embellishing done. There we go. And I just pop that in there. And then lastly, I just want to add some journaling on. And there's a perfect space. And that's part of the reason I put that white space at the bottom. There's a perfect area there for me to be able to add some journaling. And I can't write in a straight line, so I'm just going to use a ruler to give myself some journaling lines. And one of my favourite pens to use is a 0.2 tip. For my journaling, I do find it the best size nib for the journaling. This paper's really good actually. I had no issues with the pen on the paper. It was nice, and it's got a bit of texture to it, but it was smooth enough to be able to still write on. And I struggle in there a little bit with what I want to write, but I'm just writing there that this is we went to the Cheesecake Factory and the different cheesecakes that we had. So this is it. I hope you've enjoyed today's video with regards to the pre-made mixed media backgrounds. And I'll be back again next month with another theme.